Hey, I'm the rap artist currently known as Trap Jacket, but this is my Aaaaannnd spec E46. All right, so yeah, E46. A lot of people got them. Y'all already know what an E46 is. No need for me to go into great detail, but this is one that's special because this is an Aaaaannnd edition E46. Now, if I remember correctly, Aaaaannnd is German for auction, because yes, I got this from the auction. Just under $1,500, 330i 6-speed. So let's go over the features of an auction edition E46. Now the main features is the filthiness of the interior. Like, this is crazy because I've actually cleaned this joint. Auction edition E46s have crazy crumbs everywhere. Crumbs up here in the instrument panel. How you get crumbs and so much dust up here is like you crushing chips and just throwing them right here, and then it's everywhere. Like, bro, once again, I have attempted to clean this out, you know, just a little regular vacuum joint from the car wash and everything, but it's only but so much you can do. So yes, that's one of the main features of it, general filthiness. And of course, aside from the interior, you're going to have all the mars and scratches and blemishes to the exterior. Of course, used car, you're going to have strip paint. You're going to have bumper moldings like not fitting in place. Your bumper is not going to fit in place. This is what's special about the auction edition. Headlights, believe it or not, they were cleaned up just a little bit. I saw some on like, what was that? IG or TikTok or something. They was like, you get some off spray and apply it on there, it'll help it out a little bit. It actually did. It used to look worse. Like everybody's kidney grills, one's missing. It's supposed to be that light, no, that dark blue color. And of course, barely in place. Like, come on now. Once again, general filthiness, trash. And I don't know what's up with this wheel, but it's like slightly cambered, but not on purpose, because the other side is not like this. These are all specialties for auction edition E46. Wonderful. And the bread and butter of a BMW, maintenance, which is terrible. When I got this car, it was misfiring. Of course, as you can see, residue from coolant leaks. Aside from that, the e-brake barely works. Have to replace that, and a few other things. But an oil change and a freaking tune-up, we gonna call it, ignitions and coils, basically got this joint right. Well, got it running steadily. Also had to change the control arms, and it's riding smoother. The front control arms still have to do some rear suspension stuff, but pretty soon, maybe in a few minutes, I'm going to be replacing the cooling system. Basically, we're going to do lower hose, we're going to do thermostat, we're going to do water pump. I also got some new pulleys and tensioners, or like a pulley and some tensioners and stuff, all the belt drive stuff down here. Have to rebuild this right here. What do you even call this? A disavow. Have the rebuild kit for that. And then once getting this joint proper, then I can worry about all the modifications. But this is the start of my E46 journey. Oh, and of course, this is going to be a drift car. 330, 3-liter N54, 6-speed. Gotta have a manual or else it's useless. All right, so a few steps later, I removed the airbox. I don't know why beforehand I was like, oh, do I need to take off the mask to take off this? But like, no. Leave that on, remove the air box, 2 bolts that are attached to right next to the strut tower. And now I'm going to proceed to unscrew the petcock and allow this to drain, which is right here. That right there. So the bottom of the radiator, that right there. FCP Euro taught me this. Oh, it's stripping. Oh no, I need 2 hands for this. All right, so I was actually able to get this first one out. It was kind of stripped, so whoever done it before stripped it. And then I also took out another one of these pickups. That one right there from this lower hose that's connected to the bottom of the expansion tank. So I need to get this clip off of there, the metal clip. Pull that up so that I think I'm replacing this hose. I ordered a few hoses. I didn't just get a complete kit because I was trying to be cheap and only get the hoses that I thought I needed. So I have to double check and see if that is indeed the right one. Look at this oil. I also need to change the oil filter housing gasket. Should probably do it while I'm doing this, but we'll see how it goes. All right, my phone about to die, but I got that freaking bolt off the side of the block. That up there. Highly suggest that you get a long extension with a little swivel piece at the end, because all I had, well, not that one, whoever it is, all I had was this one, and there's not a lot of space up there. I had to even take off this little bracket piece for this power steering line that just goes right there. But yeah, I just had this. I even got my bar for my jack to try to add a little more leverage just to turn it a little bit. But once I got it turning, it was good. But my goodness, this is gonna spew out. Look at that mess, smack. So yeah, definitely couldn't get this lower hose off before I got out the radiator, but highly suggest trying to do that. For some reason, I don't have like a good sturdy flathead screwdriver, and so when I did take it out, I had to finagle it to fall down there. I removed the hose from the thermostat, but then I just had to let it drop down through there because I couldn't pull it up, like the hose blocking away and whatnot. But yep, this is connected to the expansion tank. Make sure that's off. I think I'm reusing this one. Don't know if I got a replacement for this or not, but hopefully when I put everything back, it'll be all right. I may just say F it and order the right hose. But that's enough for today. All right, officially day 2. I'm probably 3-4 hours in. Last time I got the radiator out, which I'm pretty sure I said. So this time, since I have pulleys to replace, I'm finna replace these pulleys. Gotta replace this idler pulley right here, pretty long bolt right there, and then I also have a tensioner pulley to replace, and as well as this other tensioner pulley for like AC and the crank and their respective belts. So here we go. Upon further inspection, the previous owner, whoever worked on this, has stripped out this tensioner. Like, what you mean? How am I supposed to? This is a T50. I have a T55. Aside from that, I'm gonna have to figure out what to do. That's crazy. So I was nervous because right here it's kind of messed up, but I didn't know that you can also use this in order to apply tension on the tensioner to unlock it or whatnot. So we good. That's straight. About to put this other one in, and then I'm gonna go ahead and get this idler pulley out and the tensioner below that, and then eventually move on to this water pump. All right, so after some trials and errors, I got out this tensioner that belongs right here next to the water pump and the alternator. And so I don't know if we call this a hydraulic pump style or something like that. This new one that I have is actually different because it doesn't have that pump on it. But once I took this bracket off, I could see if I could still utilize this space down there for this one. Oh, it might actually work. Let me fiddle around this. Dang, nightmare came true. I don't know how, but the bolt went in too far and I think I just broke my block. That is crazy. This tensioner, I thought it was just a few more threads to go, and someone told me like, hey, you should stop. But I was like, wait, still some threads to go. And I just cracked my block. So, ultimate crisis, I can't say averted or avoided, but basically when I was trying to put in the new tensioner, I cracked my oil filter housing, which led to the oil spewing out, and I was like, yo, ain't no way that I put a hole in the block, even if I, you know, overscrew something. So this is my original tensioner. I don't even think I can get it in the right orientation now, but this original tensioner has this little plunger type thing, so that squeezes in right there, that pushes down when you apply tension on it in order for you to put on the belts and things like that. But this new one that I have doesn't have that. So I don't know if this is like oil driven or something like that. That doesn't really make sense. But however this works and how this fits is different from this one, because you have this bracket and then, well, it sits in there. If the oil filter housing was in there, it'd be better. It sits in there like that. But this one doesn't have that, and it's just this. And so I tried to use the same hardware, and I was wondering, like, yo, I don't think this is supposed to go in there, but I tried it anyway, and I heard a crack, and I was like, what the heck? But my dumb ass, instead of stopping like my gut told me to, I kept going, and boom, messed it up. But that's only the housing. I get a new housing, there's no hole in the block, and then I needed to change the oil filter housing gasket anyway, so I guess this is, you know, the way things work out in order to get me to change that. But phew. Alright, where we at with it? Day, whichever day it is. This is gonna be a long video. Maybe I'll chop it up. Anyway, last time I broke my oil filter housing, which is why this is off. And this is the broke one, and the damage is right there. Therefore, I got a new one. So the plan is to get this new one on, and then from there see everything else that we could get off. I kind of prepped the new radiator, the CSF radiator. The bottom bracket doesn't fit on it, so I got to make sure that I fit it down here correctly. But as long as everything lines up and I can get the fan shroud on, I guess it should be okay. It might actually hit right here. But yeah, I kind of want to be cheap and take off the old oil filter, well, the oil filter itself, but then I have to bolt this back on, and I don't really want to bolt it back on, but I can't take it off when it's out here by itself because I don't have enough strength. So I guess I'll just work on doing that. Actually, no. Screw it. We won't put the new one on. All right, so after a short delay, here I am getting the oil filter housing actually in. It's a couple dowels, like one in this area and then one at the top up there for you to align it on there. But what my struggle was that I would get one dowel on, or get the housing on one dowel, and then the other one wasn't really flush well, so it just has to be played around with. You kind of just get it on one, trying to get it on the other. Then I just use this little mallet in order to firmly set it in place, and now I'm using a 1/4 inch in order to thread in these bolts for it. So there's 3 different sizes, and that's what was throwing me off at first. I had the wrong sizes in there. I think I had one of these bracket bolts, probably from my old tensioner that I was trying to get in there, because I thought that I needed a longer one. But I believe this is the longest one, and these are the medium-sized ones in the middle, and then it's short in the top right, short and short. So I'm just using a 1/4 inch to thread these in case they were cross-thread and wouldn't be that exaggerated with the 1/4 inch. All this stuff is what FCP said. And then I had to remember to tighten up this banjo bolt because I didn't want to make it too tight, because I wanted to make sure I can route it in here. And so I just put a 19, able to stuff that back in there. And then, what is it? I think this is pressure oil pressure switch, and then this is oil temp, or one or the other. I have those plugs to go into their respective places. I thread this in there, and then I can work on getting this power steering pump back on the bracket, and from there probably put the idler pulley. No, it's not the tensioner, and then proceed to put the alternator in here and then get the belts on. Whoa, oh yeah. All right, this is day 5, day next. It's been a couple weeks since I've actually had the chance to get back on this, because this replacement oil filter housing that I got from my OG one that I had broke the replacement. So this is the replacement for the replacement. So on the replacement, I forgot to put the idler pulley on, and then I had threaded in the top alternator bolt, which is right here, and then this piece had cracked. It almost looked like this is cracking on here too, but I don't know. So I had to order another one of these, which is why it took me till now to get back to doing this. But hey, you live, you learn. That's why I got a project car. It's a learning car. And then also I had aftermarket Vanos line, a long braided one, but it wasn't fitting well because it was extra long for some reason. Pause. And it was hard to fit to right here. And I was like, I don't like that, so I'm gonna put this OG one back on here. If this one leaks, then I'll get another one. But for now, I really want to get this together. Got the, whichever one of these is oil temperature and whichever one of these is oil pressure switches, got these in there. And I gotta get the power steering pulley back on, put the alternator back on. Remember, put the idler pulley here. No, this is the tensioner. And then it's like the idler pulley is somewhere around here. And then tighten up these pulley bolts. And then I can finally work on getting the radiator in and plugging everything back up. I hope it's not nothing I'm missing. But yeah, man, slow progress, but it's progress. So yeah, but it's actually about to rain, so I'm about to pack up and proceed the next time I have time, which might be in a week or something, because I gotta go back to work. But this is the first replacement that I got to the OG one. The OG one I cracked by trying to use the original bolts for the original hydraulic tensioner when it was a mechanical one, woo. But on this one, when I was threading in that top alternator bolt, like I was saying, crack right there, and I'm like, ooh, I don't know. It's a big one. But yeah, like I said, I'm repeating myself, but alright. So as I continue to put things back, even though I thought I was about to get up out of here, I put on this aluminum thermostat. And so it's 4 bolts, one right there, one right there, one right there. Camera won't focus. And then it's this one right here. But this one is connected to, which is like the engine hoist bracket. So you can hoist up the engine. So I had to take this off, this 11mm nut. Good thing I had an 11 socket, because my sets don't have. I just happen to have a random one for some reason. I had to take this off. And then you got to snake out the other piece right there. This piece that connects to the thermostat and goes around the Vanos unit and the Vanos line. But in order to take this out, you have to take off the Vanos line. So good thing, you know, I've been working on this for a while, so there's no oil going through it, but that's kind of annoying. But yeah, take that off, take off the Vanos line, then you can take off the bracket, and then you can fit the thermostat because the bracket's blocking the way otherwise. So yeah, so I cannot understand what I'm doing wrong with this mechanical tensioner attached to the oil filter housing, because as you see, when I put the idler pulley on, they should not be that close. Like, it's right on each other, but no other orientation works. What am I doing wrong? Where we at with a day? 6,072. All right, this is the belt orientation. Okay, we got water pump right here. Well, let's start with the crank. For the crank, the belt needs to go under and over the crank. It needs to go around this tensioner here. I've got a Allen wrench stopping the tensioner from applying tension. Goes around the tensioner, under and over the water pump, under this idler pulley,
over the alternator and down and under the power steering pump. So yeah, this is where I'm at now. Me working on this has been so scattered because of me being at work, me working overtime, it being cold outside, and me not wanting to do nothing. But here we are now. I don't even remember where I really last ended this, but this is oil filter housing put back together because I broke the first one and I got the replacement, and I broke this part of the replacement because I tried to put this upper alternator bolt in without having the idler on. But we here now. All right, new switches for oil pressure, oil temp on the oil filter housing. Alternator is in here. Alternator connector is on the power cable from the battery of the starter is on there, so it can have power and get power, whatever it may be. I gotta tighten these pulleys down, but I'm about to release this, take this Allen out so it can actually apply tension. But it looks like I have the routing together, and then I can put on the AC belt. And from here, oh my goodness, it's allergy season, it's cold out here. From here, I will then proceed to come out with my radiator next time I get a chance, mount the radiator, get the hoses on, and reconnect everything. This is reconnecting the coolant hoses, lower, upper, and then putting in coolant and all that. I gotta put this on there, gotta route this. I should probably get some electrical tape to cover this up since the shielding is broke, but yeah, here we are, finally. Not even at the end yet. All right, so my little Allen holder is out, and the belt is tensioning. Everything seems to be routed, I guess. Crap, I keep hitting this condenser and stuff. So yeah, we'll see during startup if I've effed this up or not. All right, this is where we at with it. Day, I don't know, 6, 5 over the course of a month, because I have a job. Got this radiator in, man. CSF. I feel like this is not supposed to be a T, whatever this is, but that's what's in there, man. But this definitely gonna be a T, whatever this is. The longer one to go in there. And not gonna hold you up. I feel like there's a third bolt to go somewhere that I'm not remembering. I'm probably gonna have to look up, but snaking this joint in wasn't too bad. I had to do it at an angle, had it like tilted like that in order to get this bracket past this power steering stuff. But yeah, man, let me get this fan shroud on, get these radiator hoses on. Well, really just get this fan shroud on, and I can bolt this joint up and then start routing this radiator hose, this lower one, even though I'm still waiting on the sensor. But yeah, I should be able to get everything mocked up. Should be able to get this in there and this other hose to that. All right, and we're done, because that's how it goes when you're not used to making videos and life being away. So last part of the video I was at was that I was installing the cooling system, and as you see, it's done. Well, I should say more specifically that the cooling fans and the cooling hoses, as we see down there, because this is definitely maybe 2 months since I recorded it last. Got that lower radiator hose on. I remember that I had to order a new sensor for it. It goes on top. Also, I was having troubles with overheating once I got the fan shroud back in, and then I found out that my fan wasn't working. It was stiff AF, and so I had to order a new fan and fan shroud. Got that joint in there, boom, it was cooling. This situation here is unfortunate. I think that something with this radiator whole bracket assembly thing is wrong, is skewed, is broke. So this is not even holding it in, like right there. All right, that's all that noise was. But yeah, this isn't able to mount to the actual piece that the bolt threads into. I don't know if I'll call that some type of, I don't know what to call that. But yeah, it's supposed to go through the radiator, through the CSF radiator, and actually thread in right there. But this is all skewed. But it's sitting. It's fine. I've been driving this around pretty regularly, and so far so good. This is the other one that I have in there, not even all the way, because I feel like it's about to strip or something. I don't know if that's the right one. But yeah, everything's back and the car is running. So hopefully one day be able to rectify that. Who knows? I want to drift this joint, so it's probably gonna have to be properly mounted and fitted one day when I smash it up a little bit. But from here on, it's really aftermarket stuff. Gotta get headers, remove this secondary air, gotta get a new ECU, also replace this valve. I think I already said that before. Eventually I have to replace these Vano solenoids. I think they're fine for now because it don't really throw codes for that. I think the codes it throws has something to do with oxygen sensors. But yeah, got this thing back together. Only took quite a while. So end of the video, maybe. Freaking everything. Majority of the cooling system is new expansion tank, new upper lower hose, and another one of those hoses down there, new fan shroud with fan, new thermostat, aluminum, new oil filter housing, same Vanos line, but new washers for it, new oil switch, oil temp and like pressure switches on the oil filter housing. Gotta replace this power steering, reservoir, and connecting lines. I don't know if my power steering pump, it's kind of old. I'm gonna have to replace that stuff, but yeah, that's where I'm at with it after so long. And end.